Grace and peace. This is Pastor Pimpong here, and I know you are also there. Grace and peace to you, and God bless you. Today is the second day of the third month of the year 2020. By the grace of God, I am walking. I am into 7 miles of my walk this morning. Actually 6 miles of my walk this morning as I look at my clock. Beloved, today I want to share with us, the issue of covetousness and covetousness. And I'm going to come from the background, Genesis chapter 20, verse 1 to 16, Genesis 26, 1 to 16 as well, and then the book of Isaiah chapter 21. In all these chapters that I have quoting, you can see what covetousness does to one person. What is covetousness? To desire that which does not belong to you, or to desire to desire something by force or by violence, that does not belong to you, using all kinds of craft. Now, in Genesis chapter 20, you have the case of Abraham. There was a big drought that came to the place where he lived. And so he decided to move, he and his family, Sarah, to the southern part, a place south to where he lived, in a place called Gerar. And when they moved into that Gerar area, the king of Gerar was Abimelech. Now, as Abraham went, his wife Sarah, so beautiful, so he told Sarah, if they should ask you who you are to be, tell them you are my sister. Okay? Now, even if Sarah is a sister of Abraham, which yes, has a half-sister to Abraham, that does not give the king any license to want to take that woman, because he was already married. In fact, he being the king may even have more than one wife. But because of covetousness, you see, when Abraham told him that, when Sarah said he was a sister, or Abraham said that is my sister, immediately the man wanted Sarah to ask Sarah to what he already had. And that's the spirit of covetousness. And that spirit is working today strongly amongst us in our world today. And sadly, it has crept into the church, and it has a stronghold, especially on church leadership. That spirit of covetousness. We have that covetousness, and we cloak it or cover it up with the word of God, make it look nice, as if we are doing no harm, but actually that's what is happening. Covetousness. And with covetousness, we've taken over things that don't belong to us. This king sent to go and take Sarah, and actually took Sarah. But before he did that, the Lord appeared unto him and told him, my friend, you are a dead person. If you touch that woman, you are dead. So you see the consequence of covetousness. So many are walking dead men. They are dead spiritually. Constantly making we are dead spiritually. Covetousness, and we are taking possession of things that don't belong to us, and as a result, we are dead. God told Abimelech, because of what you are going to do, you are a dead man. Return Sarah to him, and not only to him, but also you have to add some things to it. Pay, because of the man's covetousness. Abimelech thought because he was a king, he can do whatever he wants. And that is how we have in churches today. Because we have power, because of the power that we wield over the congregation, we use that power to, subjugate and take that which doesn't belong to us. This didn't stop with Abraham alone. His son, Isaac, in chapter 26, the same situation. He also found himself going into Gerar. And who did he meet there? It was Abimelech. And what did he do? Like father, like son. He also told Rebekah, his wife, who was so beautiful, that look, let the people know that you are my sister, because he was afraid that they will kill him. And so when the king Abimelech heard that that was the sister of Isaac, what did he say? Call Isaac. He want to take Rebekah. And God told him, you are a dead man. Every one of them, the consequence is death. You are a dead man. Beloved, this I'm speaking, I'm saying today, hardly will you hear these messages, because today's messages are always messages that they are tickling to the ears. But I want to share this with us. As well, those of us in position of authority who call ourselves bosses, bourgeoisie, the titles we have given to us, ourselves, in the houses of God, that we are making decisions that we feel like we are, because we have turned the church of God into a commercial entity. We're making money off it. So we make decisions based on our carnal mind and our carnal hearts. Isaac almost lost his life. Had he taken Rebekah to wife and had something to do with her, he would have died. The same was Abraham. The same Abimelech. Abimelech would have died had he had to do something, not Isaac. Abimelech would have died had he taken Isaac's wife and done what was in his mind with her. He would have died. The same Abimelech would have died had he taken Sarah. Can you see one man want to take the mother of Isaac and the mother and then the mother-in-law of Rebekah, that is Isaac's daughter, Isaac's wife. Can you imagine that? But in all, God had to intervene. Told him, you are a dead man. Abimelech, you are a dead man. You die. So Abimelech restored Rebekah. We move from there to the book of Isaiah 21. Here you have a case. A man by name Ahab. And sometimes we end up in the arms of wrong women, and they give us wrong counsel. Ahab was married to a woman by name Jezebel. And lo and behold, Jezebel was that woman. She was Jezebel, the queen of all witches. The queen of all witches. The queen of all false prophetesses. And today we have so many false prophetesses walking down our streets who somebody who calls himself a man of God has slapped with this anointing. Why? Because we want to make a name for ourselves. So we take all these women and give them all those titles. You are a prophetess, you are this, you are that. And they are walking out there being very, very arrogant and stubborn and not listening to their husband, actually usurping authority over their own husbands. That was what Jezebel did. So here, Ahab said he wanted, Naboth was his neighbor. Naboth had a beautiful garden, the only garden that he had. Small, but very beautiful. He inherited it from his parents. It's something that has been there for years. Now, all of a sudden, Ahab said, give it to me. Sell it to me. And he said, I can't sell it to you. This has been in the family. It is something we inherited, so we will leave it with our children. That's a man of principle. Ahab will not sleep. Ahab will not eat, not until he has gotten that property. And do you know how many pastors and how many people who call themselves men of God are spending sleepless night? They won't sleep because they want something in particular. There's something their eyes sit on and they want. And because of that, they want to do everything using all kinds of craft. They are unbending, they are unyielding until they get that. And that was Ahab. And sometimes the wives aid and abet. So here you have Jezebel comes and says, husband, why won't you eat? What is going on? He said, well, I want that garden. So sleep, don't worry. Then she went and hired 2 men. The men had to fast so that they will be able to get their lives proper. Can you imagine? So when somebody says, I'm going fasting, today they have all strange kind of fastings, Daniel fast. And you see somebody sitting in the hotel eating or restaurant eating, and he says he's fasting. Can you imagine? Do you know what fasting means? Fasting is to turn your place upside down. When you are fasting, you have no desire for any other thing. You will not watch TV even. You will not watch, you don't, because when you are fasting, you spend all your time with God in prayer. So these people, they did Satan's fast. Satan's fast. They fasted so that they can be able to come up with lies to be able to frame Naboth. And they did frame him. They all came and said, we heard this man speak, raging and railing and being very subordinate to the king. So what was his punishment? He was to be stoned to death. So they killed him. They killed him. I can see God speaking to Ahab the same way he spoke to Abimelech, that you are a dead man if you take this thing. But Ahab will not listen. Why? Because he has the overshadowing presence of his wife, Ahab, Jezebel. My beloved, your wife is pushing you to take some decisions that you know are not biblical. Know that you are the one God has appointed as the head of the church. Normally, it's the wife who is to restrain you and to say, no. If it's something that you are going to do wrong, they say, honey, please, we have to be very careful. Remember the pilot. It was his wife. She said, look, she dreamt. She said, let's have nothing to do with this man, because I had bad. The women, the wives, restrained their husbands from taking actions that seem to be a little too harsh. But not with Ahab, not Ahab's wife. Jezebel was pushing the husband, hired people who fasted and came and lied, and as a result, had Naboth killed and took the garden and gave. And because of what she did, the prophecy came. Prophet Elijah came and spoke to them and said, this is what you have done. You are going to die. Die. Jezebel will also die. The prophet came and gave him, I think, get my mind for unless it's Elijah or not. But one of the prophets came and said, you die. Ahab died in a war battle, and Jezebel was killed by Jehu. My beloved, covetousness, the wages of covetousness is death. And there are so many pastors, so many servant people who claim to be men of God, full of covetousness. We do it in the house of God all the time. Somebody, by the grace of God, has labored and have started a church. And then you send emissaries to go there. And what was to go there and you drain the church of members, take them after you to go and start something. That is covetousness. My friend, you don't have life. And some even are so violent to the extent that they don't, not that they go to take the membership, they take the whole church and assign their own pastors, put them there, people who will be beholden to them. And they take what somebody for years have drained his blood, his time, his energy. And how do they do that? They frame that pastor up. They frame him up and push him out of the door. Beloved, don't think that you will escape. You and I will not escape when we do those things. You will never have joy. You will never have peace. Never. If you are one who has done that, or you are thinking of doing that, or you have been doing it, you will never have peace. You won't have peace. Because what God hates is covetousness. To covet that level, it could be that even what you have now, somebody put it on your lap, it was dropped on your lap. You didn't work to start it. You didn't. Because people who go and labor hard and work hard to start something, they never covet what God has. They have that desire to work like in the corporate world today, you have people, if somebody has money, he's buying other companies, buying everything around him. So he'll be the only person. Beloved, covetousness is not good. Abimelech tried it, God told him you'll die. He tried it again, God said you'll die. Ahab tried it and pursued it, and he died in the process, he and his wife Jezebel. Do you want to be the next candidate You know, as I said earlier, so many walking dead men. We are walking dead man. You've broken somebody's marriage, taken his wife. We are walking dead man. You've taken somebody's church, a church that you didn't start. You did it. The person God knows you started. Up to this point, and then you take it from him through craft and deceit. You will never have this. And whatever you put there, you will never have this. Never. And this is God's word. Never have this. Because God does not like treachery. When you are so treacherous and so wicked, when we are so treacherous and so wicked, and we deal so treacherously with each other, using covetousness, taking that which does not belong to us. God said, thou shalt not covet. But there is so much covetousness, especially in the political realm and also in the church, where we have allowed politics to enter. And we think we have power. We are using the powers of this world, not the power of God, because God's power is humbling. The power of God is humility. It's in humility. It is meekness, it's in lowliness, it's in reconciliation, it's in love, it's in joy. It's a willingness to say, I am sorry. It doesn't matter how your title is. The willingness to say, I am sorry. I have offended, I have sinned, and seek to be reconciled. But the powers of this world are domineering. And they seek to say, either you obey us, or you are kaput, cut you off. Abimelech, Abraham, you need to let me know whether this is your sister or your wife. If it's your wife, you may end up being killed. That man was afraid. The same Isaac was afraid of being killed. My beloved, let us examine our hearts. Let's examine our minds, our motives, the impure motives. Let's examine. Let us allow every one of them to be washed through the blood of Jesus. Let us allow the Lord to deliver us from covetousness. Uproot that spirit of covetousness from our hearts. You know, let the Lord take it out of your hearts. And the most painful one, especially, like I said, when you have to take somebody's wife, and you take somebody's business by violence, or take somebody's church by violence, a church that a person has, by the grace of God, started, and then you take it through craft, through frame. You frame the person up. And when you realize that you are done wrong, you start with the system and proceed. Wicked plans. You will not go very far. Your joy is gone. You can fast all you want. Read the book of Isaiah chapter 1. Read the book of Isaiah chapter 1. It said when you spread your arms, the Lord said, I will hide my face. Why? Because you spill blood. You don't know that you are. If what belongs to someone you've taken is like killing the person. Read Isaiah chapter 1. Read entire from verse 1 to 17 and see what the Lord is saying. Let's read it, my beloved. Let's read the word of God and apply it to ourselves. Too often we just gloss over it and we go with what other people are saying. A blessing, 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 blessing. There's no blessing in this wickedness, in covetousness. There's no blessing in it. The decisions that you and I have made to deprive others of what belongs to them, to deprive others of what they have labored years to build vis-a-vis a church, and to pull it out of underneath them. Not once, not twice, but several times. One day is coming. Our cups will be full. And when your cup is full, what you did it in secret, but yours will be done publicly. And the whole world will see your shame. This is the word of God for us today, my beloved. This is the word of God for us. Covetousness, the wages of covetousness is death. God told Abimelech, you will die twice. And Ahab died because of covetousness. He took Naboth's garden, Naboth's vineyard. What have you taken? What have you taken that doesn't belong to you? Watch it. God bless. Bye-bye.